Hello and welcome back to the Announcer's Curse podcast, our second season. I'm Derek Todoroff.
I'm Ben Iman.
And I'm Caden Barksdale.
Yep, that's right. We've kidnapped the third one once again to both record and be the audience stand-in effectively. You know, that's something Caden's great at. He may not really care about anything I have to say, but he's happy to be here. He's happy to be here.
I'm the outside perspective.
I was going to say, what every great podcast needs, an audience member stand-in.
Yep, a third white boy.
Of course.
Caden's objective is to be a Twitter comment section for the Announcer's Curse podcast live as it's happening.
We traded one of our fans for another member of the podcast. So we've gone from 3 fans and 2 members to 3 members and 2 fans. Shout out to Ryan, our primary fan.
We appreciate you, Ryan.
We do. Here on this episode, once again filmed at almost 2:30 in the morning, we are going to be focused on the chase. The NASCAR chase was founded back in 2004, the first run under the system, as a response to the Mac Kenseth title. Ever since then, it's played a role in shaping modern NASCAR, dominated especially by Jimmy Johnson in the heyday, and then, of course, into the playoffs that we all loathe. So, as it makes its return to NASCAR 22 years after its founding, we think about how it has come to be and what we can expect from it in this season.
Derek, I'm really excited that this is back.
Why is that?
I think as NASCAR did this big spectacle to announce that this is what they were going to. And I think some of the comments made by Dale Jr. and Mark Martin in that session and in that spectacle really kind of ring true, which is I think this is the best of both worlds. Look, I mean, I would love a full season points championship. Like I think a lot of very loud fans on social media would too. But I didn't think we were going to get there. It didn't sound like that's really what NASCAR corporate wanted, and it didn't really sound like that's what some of the TV partners wanted. Kind of thing. It sounded like there was other groups pushing back on that, which I can understand. If you're NBC, you've put a lot of investment into NASCAR, and specifically to have the back half of the season for the playoffs, and so I can understand that. And I think this is a system that's going to work well. In the 8 years that we saw the chase prior to it converting to a playoffs, the driver who entered as the regular season champion won the title 5 out of 8 times. So,
feels like a good balance.
I think that's a good balance. Every now and then you're going to have a guy who, kind of flames out towards the end. But I think overall it's going to make it like we're going to start to see, some the regular season contenders rewarded for success. It's also, I think, really going to up the value on stage racing. I don't think this is something that we necessarily talked about a lot while we were doing our full season predictions. But stage points are huge now. I mean, winning is huge. Winning you're in is gone. Thank goodness. Austin Dillon can't hurt me anymore. Winning is you're gone. But 55 points is a lot for a win. And going up 15 from last year. And if you sweep a day, stage 1, stage 2, and a win, you're looking at 75 points in a day. Wow. That's what I'm saying. Stage points are going to be huge. And so you got to run well. It's going to be really interesting. Gone are the days of guys flipping the stage. I think, like when we go to road courses, you would see SVG do this a lot. Hit a couple laps before the stage, flip it over. And I think that's going to be gone.
I think SVG is a very interesting case study going into the chase. This is a driver who was hired because of winning your in. Something he has acknowledged. He had a job because it was safe to bet that SVG could get you a win on the road course at some point in the season. He still can do that, but now he's not a lock into the playoffs. The chase. And that's really the big question mark. And I know that a lot of fans, the first question is going to be, why did we leave the chase in the first place if it's so good? Long story short, Jimmy Johnson.
Pretty much.
In sports, there's this. Think about. Let's approach it this way. Why do I like the chase? I like the chase because of all the possible ways we've gone about it, it feels the most like a ball sport playoff in a way that the others don't. It's time to prove yourself. It's a postseason that still counts the importance of consistency. In that same way, Jimmy Johnson dominated the early attempt at the chase because much like a team that's locked itself in 5 weeks early, they spend those last 5 weeks just getting ready for the playoffs. Screw those 5 races. They're a wash. They don't matter. The playoffs is what's important. And I think a big question heading into the season is, will anybody do that this year?
I think that's a good question. I don't think you can afford to do that this year. I think we talked about take this most recent playoff, the final playoff, with Denny Hamlin winning at Las Vegas and knowing that he could take the last 2 races of the round of 8 off, essentially, and they just started preparing a car for Phoenix. So, look, it doesn't matter what we do at Talladega. It doesn't matter what we do at Martinsville. We can just, prep for that final race. You can't do that. If you're going to win that race, 3 weeks before we go back to Homestead for the finale, that's not necessarily going to mean anything significant anymore, other than, you have to start winning and winning often in that final 10. If you start deep in the field, 16 drivers is a lot of drivers to make the chase, if we're being honest. It's too many.
Yeah.
It's too many. 12, I think, was the right number, but I understand
13
maybe not.
if Jeff Gordon's outside of the picture looking in.
13th driver, Jeff Gordon, can't hurt you, Derek. He's not real.
That's right. Due to the Houston Astros cheating scandal, the decision has been made Jeff Gordon to this year's World Series.
Oh my goodness. I think the really interesting thing about where a lot of that goes is who is going to be in that 16. I refute. I don't think this is necessarily the point you're making, but I think we did our picks and that's coming out, and I think there's a good chance SVG can make the top 16. If you look at his splits in the first half of the season on ovals and the second half of the season on ovals, he was running significantly better on ovals, including a top 10 at Kansas or Iowa, one of the intermediates. He had a realistic top 10, not a fuel mileage top 10, not a super speedway top 10, like a legitimate intermediate top 10, which I know you might be kind of like, doesn't sound all that impressive, but when he is the road course guy and that he's going to win probably 3 of the 4 this year, now that we're down to 4, rest in peace, the Roval. Derek, do we all get a free pick change for that Charlotte weekend now? Because we all thought it was the Roval when we picked it.
Yes.
Yes. I don't want to pick it. I think I picked SVG. I don't want to pick him anymore. I still think there's a chance he could be top 16. I think Ross Chastain could be top 16. I think what this is doing is Austin Cindric, I think, is one of the people that's going to be hurt by this. I think Joey Logano is someone that's going to be hurt by the playoff change, and I'm less worried about him than I am about Cindric.
I will say the big thing that a lot of NASCAR media is overlooking right now is I don't think the Cup playoff picture is going to change all too much. I think the bottom 3 will change, but Xfinity and trucks, that's a huge difference. Especially in that Xfinity series, which is so wide open this year. And by the time this episode comes out, we might know if Cole Rass is a full-time season ahead of him in the Sigma Performance number 76 that was recently announced. But we still don't know, and Cole's not telling us, unfortunately. So no breaking news out of the ACC.
Also, Derek, please start to correct yourself now. O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
No. There's people who still call it the Busch Series. I want the Xfinity Series for the rest of my life. I'm allowed to.
Fair enough.
It sounds better.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said this. Like when we talk about Jimmy Johnson's championships, is he a Cup Series champion? Well, yes, but could I still refer to him as a Nextel Cup champion? I mean, technically, if I want to, like, it feels weird.
But that's a bit like saying instead of he's a Sugar Bowl champion, he's an Ultimate Sugar Bowl champion. Sure. One of those just sounds worse objectively.
It feels weird because stylistically, you update to the most current name in this kind of thing. So it feels kind of weird to say that Kevin Harvick is a 2-time O'Reilly Auto Parts Series champion, but like stylistically, that's technically what you're supposed to do. Because it just feels kind of weird. I know, big name change. Derek doesn't like name changes, so
I'm okay with name changes. I called the Craftsman Truck Series. It was the Gander Outdoor RV Center Truck Series when I first started watching, and then it was the Camping World Truck Series. I call it the Craftsman Truck Series.
I just remember when it was the Craftsman Truck Series, and then it became the Camping World Truck Series, and then it became the Craftsman Truck Series again. I just like, what are Q Taylor Twallman? What are we doing? So,
audience stand-in. What's your take on this one?
Oh, on this, I don't know on this one.
What's your question?
Sure.
Take?
I guess you mentioned
Generally.
that this is the best that we've had, the best of both worlds. What can you tell me a little bit more about what the other worlds were? I guess.
Well, so Formula One. I know Derek hates it, but it's a full season points championship, right? Okay. So
just the most points over
most years
season.
In the last 5 years, most years we know the champion a couple races before we get to the finale,
right? Because
someone has just been because again, and Derek will agree with me on this. Formula One is an engineering competition more than it is a racing competition. The drivers are still vastly talented, but it comes down to money and that stuff and manufacturing more than it. Oftentimes, it can come down to that, or versus the current format that we had with the multi-round elimination, win and you're in, championship one race. I mean, Joey Logano was not points-wise or statistically deserving of his last championship. He got hot at the right time, picked up a couple of wins where he needed to, and performed on the day. Now, how the series was built and how the playoffs were created, Joey Logano's absolutely a deserving champion. You can't hate the player, hate the game.
Right.
I can hate the player.
Well, I mean, Derek can hate the player, but Derek has special rules. We just choose to acknowledge some of them. The fact that Penske and Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney used the system so well and had their cars dialed to be successful over this series, I can't get mad at them as much as, it means, maybe my favorite driver is still hunting a championship.
Yeah.
And so I think this is going to be, it's still a 10 race playoff. It's still, kind of creating that artificial drama, but you are starting with such a points advantage as the regular season champion. Derek, is it 50 or 100 back to second?
Back to second, I believe it's 50.
It's 50. And then from second to third, it's 25. And then from there on out, it's 5 down.
Wow.
So that's right, because Derek's right, because it's like from 16th to first, it's like a full 100 points.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's, the guy who's 16th is not going to win the title very often. It might happen here, but it does give the advantage to being consistent. Someone that I think we completely glossed over when we did our prediction series was Ryan Blaney as a potential champion. I think this system is built for him. He was last year 7 DNFs, including 2 massive engine blowouts. I doubt that happens 2 years in a row. And even with 7 DNFs last year, was fighting Kyle Larson for the regular season champion. So I would watch Mr. Blaney and his Llama Cusco.
A little funny you say that we skipped past him when I picked him to win 3 in a row and the regular season title.
Okay, well, I forgot that you picked him to win the regular season title. That's good at least. I got finishing third, but I think there's a really good chance that he is right there at the end. I think Kyle Larson obviously is, up there. And I think a driver that Derek gave his flowers to, Chase Elliott, I think this system really, really benefits Mr. Consistency. And yes, his personality, according to Derek, is that of toilet paper in water. But, that team is consistent. You know what you're going to get. They get top 10s. They get top 15s. They're going to win a couple here and there. And that, I think at the end of the day, that's what this system is built for.
How is this system going to affect the Todd father? Is what the audience is thinking right now.
It actually
you want the real answer or the fun answer?
Both.
Okay, I'll give the real answer. Derek can give the fun answer.
Okay.
The real answer is I think it actually makes it less likely for him to win a title.
Really?
Yeah, because under the old system, he could win the Daytona 500 and he's locked into the playoffs.
Right. And then in the playoffs, anything can happen.
Yes and no. But
okay,
where Front Row currently is, they needed that system more than they need this system.
Okay.
And unfortunately, you can listen to a lot of Bob Jenkins talk about the way that he's tried to save money and make it cost effective through the whole lawsuit.
Yeah.
That came through. There's a lot of really great stuff, including buying his own Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi is ridiculously expensive every week, apparently. Even though Xfinity is a partner of yours.
Wow.
Yeah, so for the Todd father and for the Dinger, it's a similar thing. They were better off in the old system.
We hate to see it.
You do.
The fun answer.
Yeah, the fun answer now
is that it might give them a better chance to win some races. In a system like this, winning isn't as important for these big teams. They don't need to take swings for the fences in the closing laps. They can sit back and take a third place finish. Yes, winning is nice, but it's not the end all be all. If Todd Gilliland wins a race, the guy in 15th doesn't need to worry about being playoffs because of it, because the Todd father will inevitably be in 22nd.
Okay, well, don't say inevitably. But yeah, it sounds like it's going to create
closer to 30th.
More underdog wins, which I like.
You will see this a fair amount, in the short track world that we live in too. You'll ask a driver, hey, you were running third, had a chance you could have made a late lunge there, try to get to second. But you ended up backing out of it, not making it. And they'll just look at you and be like, look, I'm points racing. That 2 points right there, potentially wrecking us, taking us out of this race was not worth it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. They were happy with it. And so point racing is back. Kind of thing. But that also allows, our smaller teams to take those home run swings at the end and not necessarily have to worry about it as much. I mean, not that I think they really had to worry about it before. Just don't pull in front of William Byron when he's pitting. We'll be good.
I did want to touch on, speaking of the Daytona 500 and colleague, AJ Allmendinger's team, here's a piece of some news. John Newby from FanBuzz reports that Meniscus, the CEO of Ram, the spokesman for Stellantis, company that owns Ram and Dodge and Chrysler and a couple others, has come out and said that they are targeting a 2027 Daytona 500 debut for Dodge back in the NASCAR Cup Series. Now, it's been very public that Dodge and Ram are working with Colleague for better or for worse, and we can talk about the Colleague show all day long. But that is a huge thing for the sport. I've been one of the people who's said in the past, I love manufacturer diversity within NASCAR. I'd love if the cars looked a little different or ran a little different and had a little more freedom. And adding that fourth manufacturer, I think, is a good step in the right direction as we slowly grow. I'd love to see Honda in the sport. There's many others I'd love to see. Most of those companies are either defunct or realistic to ever see in the sport. But, I can dream of the Pontiac brand back in the sport of NASCAR. They've got it. I can dream. But my legitimate point is there's a lot happening here in the NASCAR world as we slowly move towards this new age, the modern age of NASCAR, where maybe, just maybe, the company finally understands how children work.
They also said, like, the big sticking point for convincing Colleague to be their flagship team was a cup run next year. They said that their goal is to field a Dodge Cup car for the Daytona 500 in 27. Now, does that mean Colleague runs as a Chevy team in 27 and they field this Dodge third car? Or what is it, a second car at that point? They have two. They have two. Could be a third car. Like an open car. That's probably the most realistic route.
That is where I'm thinking we see this.
Something I will also note, Derek, is that everyone participating in the race for the seat has Race for the Seat Season 1 listed, which makes me think that there's a chance that this could come back if it's successful enough, and they continue every year for one of these trucks just doing a reality show for it. They're going to run out of drivers at some point. I don't
know, maybe if they just cross the Mississippi River for more than one person, have more drivers to work with.
Yeah, Derek was really frustrated that in the show they were talking about how they grabbed the best drivers from across the nation, and their West Coast representation is a guy from Nevada.
The West. Not even West Coast, like west of the Rockies, west of Mississippi.
Yeah, West. He's a guy from Nevada.
And then I like Tanner Reif, and I am going to touch on this because I was just telling Caden a moment ago prior to opening up this recording. I'm really frustrated with the show. I feel like it's disingenuous. It feels scripted at points. Oddly angry and disregarding of Tanner Reif in general. This is a legend guy. This is a guy who was competing in Tucson a couple of weeks ago, won the race at the Chili Willy in Tucson, and he steps behind the wheel of a legend car. For those of you who haven't seen the Ram show, go watch it. You've got about 30 seconds before I start talking about the show itself. Tanner Reif is complaining about the legend cars. He mentions how one of them is distinctly slower than the others, and he is told by Chris Rice, the CEO of Colleague Racing, to stop bitching.
Wow.
He's right. The slowest cars were these three slowest drivers all drove the same car. The five fastest drivers only one, two fast cars. And Reif backs it up. He goes out there and he wins the race. He wins the money race because he is the best legend driver of the group. He's the active legend driver of the group. And we get to this most recent episode that dropped the day we are filming this, or technically the day before we are filming this, because it's, again, 2 a.m. But it is on a road course. And everyone's talking about how, I'm surprised to see him doing so well. Why? He ran the ARCA schedule, the ARCA West schedule, and he's run ARCA East starts. He has road course experience, more so than one of these other drivers. Yeah, he's not a TA2 guy. As of filming the show, he's going to be this year. But
true.
I mean, he's talented.
I definitely think they did a good job in diversifying their driver pool in age, diversifying their driver pool in background and what they drove. It's primarily late model and modified guys, but I mean, of course, that is going to be your primary. I would have loved it if they would have could have randomly seen one of these high limit dirt sprint car guys just randomly competing in this. But I also understand why maybe they wouldn't want to give up their gig. But
there's
yeah,
also
just
a bit in episode 1 where Chris Rice asks, how many of you guys have raced for $5,000 before? And they had to be told for no one to say anything because Mini Tyrrell won $50,000 earlier this year in a late model race.
Yeah, so the show feels part Survivor, part Ultimate Fighter, which I don't know if either of you have ever watched The Ultimate Fighter, but the show's obviously being produced by Dana White and that whole team. So
Okay.
The Ultimate Fighter for the children in this call was basically the UFC did a show where they would bring in like 10 amateurs and they would train in a UFC gym in Las Vegas. This was before the UFC like sold out to like the Middle East. So everything was like headquartered in Vegas. And they would train in Vegas and they would spar and they'd run things. And then ultimately the winner of the show got offered a contract to fight in the UFC. And ultimately, actually, like a handful of them have actually been really successful. So like, so it's not like it hasn't worked. But
Sounds like American Idol, or
it's American Idol for fighting.
Yeah.
This is American Idol in a sense for actually. I mean, to be fair, actually, this is the better comparison is probably The Voice. Not to get particular, because American Idol you can at least open audition for.
Right.
Although it's, by the way, before you get to the actual TV auditions, you have to go through like 6 layers of auditions before you get there.
Yeah, I've heard about it from a certain someone who grew up in my hometown.
Yeah, but the Voice you have to get invited.
Oh. I will also say the other issue of those shows versus this one is NASCAR's off season is only so long, and this show was not made fast enough. The finale will air the same day on Fox, the same day as the Truck Series race. That's stupid. Very simply put.
So we'll know who have won it because qualifying is the day before.
Also, we're pretty sure it's Mini Tyrrell.
I mean, he's doing really well.
Well, that's not even why. He's the only one who's tested at Daytona to get a certification to race at Daytona, which is required.
So you have to test the ARCA car.
So unless they're just going to pray that practice is enough, which would be a choice.
No, I don't think so.
Mini Tyrrell signed with somebody else to race this season, which is very unlikely. Tanner Reif has also already announced what his plans for 2026 are. He'll be racing in the Trans-American 2 series. TA2 is a great series for young developing talent. Connor Zillich raced in it. As of now, Tristan McKee raced in it. So, like, it's a good race for him. But this show needed to come out a month ago, not now.
I definitely think it's going to be Mini Tyrrell because Mini Tyrrell is also racing the ARCA race at Daytona. Any other? We'll take a few more minutes here to talk about O'Reilly's and trucks. There's a couple names you're looking at in each series for this year for 2026. And we'll start with the O'Reilly series. Also knowing that not every name in driver combo has been announced.
Here's 2 pretty big ones for me. The number 24 of Harrison Burton over at Sam Hunt Racing, back with Toyota. We'll see what Burton can do. A pretty good season last year with AM that he couldn't really finish the job, but had a good run. On that same note, I'm already blanking. Sorry, the number 5 is one that I want to watch. Hettinger Racing is stepping into the O'Reilly Auto Parts series, and they've got Luke Fenhouse behind the wheel with a very cool number 5 font. Curious to see what he can do. And then, of course, I'm really hoping that this doesn't age badly before this episode comes out. But official owner points transfers say the points from the AM25 are going to the Sigma Performance Services Racing number 76. And I only know one number 76 driver. He's a former SPS driver. Come on. I want to see Cole. I want to see Cole in a car, and I want to know how good he's going to do.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm hoping it's going to be true. I'm hoping it's going to be him. Because that would be very cool. I'm hoping Cyclone throws enough money on the table although it would mean we wouldn't get to see him at Showdown particularly. No, actually, I think we would. I think they're off that weekend. Riley might be off that weekend. So selfishly, there's a reason. There's a very small selfishly, but I will happily give up the weekend that we get to if this is the outcome. Derek, I got to plant my flag here a little bit in that I have become the number one fan of Dr. Speed himself, Patrick Staropoli. A big time Dr. Speed. The guy's an eye doctor. Hey,
Okay.
Caden, and he races for NASCAR.
That's awesome.
He's racing. He's going full time this year. He's one of the oldest, I think, rookies.
Wow.
He's an old rookie.
What?
He's taken over for Big Machine Racing, a team that made the playoffs last year. Obviously, Nick Sanchez gets booted out of the seat, which is I'm assuming this is funding based because Patrick Staropoli is sponsored by like a big time like drug.
A drug. Okay.
Well, yeah, he's a doctor.
Right. What?
Sanchez is gone. No one knows what's happened. We don't
Nick
know
Sanchez
where he's going.
He's missing?
has not landed anywhere. Well, I mean, somewhere probably, but
Is he safe? What caused the career pivot? Do you know?
No, he's still the eye doctor. He does that too.
I'm a
That's why
doctor.
he's
So
Dr. Speed.
He's just a NASCAR Cup Series driver on the side.
No, he's a O'Reilly driver, but yes.
Right. Oh, sorry. Still.
No. Ferraris, they drive on the European circuit. I drive in the Piston Cup. That's that kind of vibe. And I just have to put this out here that every single time Big Machine Racing posts, I get in the comments and like I'm excited for Dr. Speed, and he likes the comment every time.
Hey, if he wants to come on the pod, we'd be more than happy to have him.
So Dr. Speed's number one fan this year, so I am rooting for my internet comment liking buddy Patrick Staropoli. For sure. And then there's
Stay tuned on the show for Thomas Escada and Dr. Speed joining the Announcers Curse podcast.
Yes.
and then the three other rookies LeVar Scott.
All three?
LeVar Scott, Brent Cruz, and Corey Day. I think this is an exciting rookie class. Last year we knew the rookie class was Connor Zilich and everyone was walking away from it. If I had to rank the rookies in this class, it would be Dr. Speed. Then I would probably put Brent Cruz next, then Corey Day, and then LeVar Scott fourth. I just think LeVar Scott
go Rajah Caruth first.
Well, I guess Rajah is a rookie and running full time. I'm so sorry. I'd put Rajah behind Dr. Speed, but I'd put him second. So this is a really exciting rookie class. There's a lot of talent.
Sorry, Dr. Speed, the Big Machine car is going to do better than Rajah.
I will not be taking questions. Well, I'm at this time. So that's where I'm at for O'Reilly in trucks. Are you also just going to say Butterbean? Like for me, it's Butterbean, and maybe Frankie Muniz if he can do better this time, because that'd be cool. And we'll see how many truck chassis Bill McAnally has lying around when Chris Wright is done.
Who is Butterbean? It's an interesting.
Brendan Queen. He'll be making his truck series rookie debut with Ram, with Colic. He absolutely slaughtered ARCA. He's the guy who wins all the ARCA races when you race ARCA in NASCAR 25. Him and William Sawalich, they're like, god of ARCA. But he's a late model racer, before that. And he goes to Waffle House after he wins. That's his
That's awesome.
I think for the truck series, as awful as Chris Wright is going to be, as terrible as Haley Deegan will be when she's racing part-time for them, BMR is going to be such a huge threat this season. With Hemrick, Eckes heading up that lineup, Ankrum in the back line helping them out, and no Corey Heim to stand in their way, their biggest opponent's going to be Lane Riggs.
So Corey Heim will be racing at Atlanta for Tricon, just so you know. But he's not running full-time.
He's not running full-time. I'm not going to talk about part-time drivers. They're not. If we're talking about that, then let me go amend my O'Reilly Auto Parts series thing. I think the bushwhackers who come down are going to go win a lot of those races.
I don't need more Kyle Larson O'Reilly series wins.
You're getting more Kyle Larson, and you'll enjoy it. You will like it. They're kicking Raja Carruth out of the number 88. Go.
This is the Ben meme. It's just top caption. Ben loves Spring Bristol. Or bottom caption. Kyle Larson wins Spring Bristol. And it's just, I just want to say, if we're going to bring up part-timers, I'm excited for Landon Lewis. Rooting for him.
Yeah, Landon. I think Landon has a decent line in front of him. I hope that his career.
And the other Rife brother, Tyler Rife, as well. Rooting for him.
We have one of your least favorite drivers going rookie racing this year in the Craftsman Truck Series. I don't know if you want to explain to our audience why you don't like Cole Butcher, but Cole Butcher driving the Thor Sport 13.
I'm indifferent on Cole Butcher in the Thor Sport 13.
The thing is, we have on good authority a second full-time Friesen car truck, the number 62. And maybe the number 51 is another part-time car has been reported as well.
The 62, I believe, is going to be the part-time one. I think the 51 is going to be the full-time one.
That's stupid and bad, and I hate it.
Well, because John Hunter Nemechek is racing the 62 at Daytona. Here, I'll read you all the part-timers who have announced they are attempting to make trucks in Daytona. It's Norm Benning, Michael McDowell, Tony Stewart, Brian Duzad, or Dowzad, or however it's said, Travis Pastrana, excuse me, I'm tired, Ricky Stenhouse, Timmy Hill, John Hunter Nemechek, Akinori Ogata, Tyler Tomasi, Corey LaJoy, Nathan Nicholson, Clay Greenfield. Not all of them can start that race.
No, not all of them can, and that's without the Tricon 1, so someone's going to be in the Tricon 1. Someone's going to be in the Tricon 5s.
The 66 for Thor Sport, the 71 and 77 for Spire, and the 02 for Youngs, I believe, are still.
One's going to be around this year.
It might not be. It might just be the 7. But
I think, no, the 77 will be around. It got Notre Points transfer. So I'd expect someone in the 7, someone in the 1. I'd expect Crafton in the 66, to be perfectly honest. I know he's planning to run a couple of races behind the wheel. Then obviously we have our Ram driver. Yay. Mini Tyrrell. I like Mini Tyrrell, don't get me wrong. It's just, come on, guys. You needed to put this show out a month.
Mini Tyrrell is considered a veteran of late model racing, Caden, and he's 21.
Wow.
Because he's been doing it since he was 12.
Oh my gosh.
Now Caden,
He's been
you went to
racing
grab
so long,
something.
he started a foundation.
Yeah, he did do that.
Wow.
Caden, you went to grab something. What?
Oh, I couldn't find it, but you mentioned earlier Haley Deegan, and the only diecast that I own is a tiny little matchbox of Haley Deegan's car that Ben got me. But yeah, that I couldn't find it. It's in a box somewhere, but
prized possession. Haley
it
Deegan.
is.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back to the Announcer's Curse podcast. This is the segment we were going to reserve for talking about the results of the Clash, but Mother Nature has other plans, and the track is now clear of snow, but NASCAR not comfortable racing there yet. They've postponed to Wednesday. Should be 2 days before you hear episode. Bit of a slow week for us, and so taking this opportunity to talk about something different, something that I have no ability to speak on, so I'll turn it over to our resident baseball expert.
Yeah, it may be a slow week for racing, but for once, it has not been a slow week for the Mariners. They have been missing a key piece for the entire offseason, and today they have finally traded to complete it. And I am very excited about this trade because I think it really is just the missing piece that they needed to be arguably in the top handful of teams in the AL. I think that's a pretty safe lock.
Yeah. Caden, the trade you're talking about in specific here is the Seattle Mariners have acquired. I love how they just list this outfielder Brendan Donovan from the St. Louis Cardinals. He is a utility man. He can play pretty much every position on the diamond. This is a 3-team trade, so the Mariners are sending the right-handed pitcher, left-handed pitcher Urangelo Sanjante, as well as outfielder / middle infielder Ty Pete. And a competitive balance round pick. It'll be 68th overall to the Cardinals.
That one is actually coming from Tampa, not the Mariners.
That one's going from Tampa. Oh, okay, I do see that now. And then the Mariners are also trading infielder Ben Williamson, who of course we saw come up this year and play some really solid defense, to the Rays. The Rays are also sending Colton Ledbetter and 72 to the Cardinals. So no, the Cardinals are getting 2 competitive balance picks, one from the Mariners, one from the Rays.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it looks like that got updated. Okay. Yeah, I think immediate reaction is this is a this pick had been cried out for about 2 years. I think Mariners fans for about 2 years now.
That's true.
Had been talking about Lars Nootbaar or Brendan Donovan,
like
or one of these guys, one of these guys who can really round out the roster. And I think this was really going to be an apparent trade. A couple days ago, when Jerry DiPoto, when asked about Eugenio Suarez, said that he basically said he wasn't in the plans, and then the next day signs with the Reds. Yes. And I think every Mariner fan will be thankful for Gino's contribution, and
some good vibes.
I will always have a special place in my heart for Eugenio. But
we'll miss him for sure.
Oh, 100%. But I think this is the right move.
I agree.
I do think this is also kind of funny because Cardinals fans on the internet, for the years that this trade has been talked about in hypothetical, have always said that it would require a Brian Wu or a George Kirk.
Yes, I forgot about that.
And Mariners fans were like, no.
Such an overpay. Now,
here's what I will say. Can Urangelo develop into a Kirby or Wu type player? Absolutely. I'm a big fan of Ty Pete.
Me too.
Although he soured a little bit for me this year, he had a K rate around 30%, which, I mean, he's young, but that's a bit higher than obviously I think we would like to see. And I think obviously the magical dust that Urangelo had of being a switch pitcher also kind of wore off, as I think there's been some rumblings that he was going to kind of commit to the right side of the mound. And look, I don't ever think he was going to be a switch pitcher in the major leagues.
Sure.
So
I thought there was a possibility that he could do right side as a starter and then lefty out of the bullpen, or maybe I'm getting that backwards, but I thought that could be a possibility. But yeah, ever since
the rule is also just season, that the rule is also tough because you have to declare before the batter steps in the box which side he's pitching from. So he can't just like dance around, which I would love to see, like him and Kyle Raleigh go at each other and just like constantly be walking back and forth which side of the plate, because they're both switch. But ultimately, I'm not crying over this. Like, this is what, in a weird way, this is why you build a good farm system. This is what I say. Every time, if you have 5 top 100 prospects, the likelihood that one of them becomes a solid player for you, I'd say it's probably 1 in 5, maybe 2 in 5. The reason you build a strong farm system is to go make deals like this.
Yes.
And if you look at the Mariner, like I'm going to pull up Brendan Donovan's. I
have his baseball reference page right here.
Okay, you already got it up.
I do.
I was just going to say, this is a guy that last year hit 287 on base.
He does not strike out.
No, he slugged 422, OPS plus of 119, has a career OPS plus of 117, was an All-Star in 2025.
Yep, coming off an All-Star
was a Gold
season.
Glover back in 2022. So the defense is definitely there.
Yes,
and
solid defender. And we have 2 years of control.
Yeah, that right there is what cost you so much in the deal. It's why it costs you Pete and Sinjante. Is the fact that you're going to get that extra year, and And the Mariners being willing to dole out cash has kind of been new for fans of the ball club. Notoriously stingy, this team has been for years. But, hey, they re-signed Naylor. Now you go make a trade for Brendan Donovan, knowing you're probably going to have to pay him if you want to keep him around long term, which I'm assuming they do. He'll hit the free agency market around 30 as he's 28 years old coming into this season.
I think for long-term Mariners fans, this team is like if the Mariners had acquired pieces around Felix Hernandez, because we have a couple of homegrown guys that have really turned into stars. But just that, we're good at doing that, but just that is not enough. You got to then go out and acquire pieces to fill in around that. And they famously did not do this with Felix Hernandez. And they actually are doing it this time, which is great to see, but it is very weird and unusual for this team.
Yeah, so if you look at kind of some sort of projected lineup, Cal Raleigh behind the dish, Naylor at first. We could second is probably be a question mark for right now. I'll say Cole Young.
I think Cole Young's gonna get it.
Well, I also saw that there's rumblings that Colt Emerson might make the opening day roster.
I think he would be at third though.
Yeah, so JP at short. Potentially, I would say you could also plug in Donovan can play third, Randy in left, Julio in center, and then in right some sort of platoon of guys. Canzone. And then also Victor Robles.
Yeah.
And then I'm not quite sure exactly who you DH at this moment.
Yeah, you've got a few options. You got Canzone, Rayleigh, Donovan can DH. I mean, I wouldn't really. I know we signed another catcher who, hypothetically did. Yes.
So.
Yeah, I think Donovan's really going to slot into this lineup nicely as a leadoff hitter, maybe second in the lineup, but he gets on base. That's his thing, which the Mariners need more of because we have a lot of high power guys, but if they're not feeling it that night, then we have no offense. And honestly, that's why we lost to the Blue Jays. Is they're a better team at having a consistent offense. They're gonna get a few runs on the board pretty much every night. Mariners they're gonna be shut out one night and score 13 runs the next. That was last season. So I really like acquiring Donovan here to kind of balance out the type of offense.
Do I care if it's a hit or a walk, Pete? No, I do not. No. So that's cue the Moneyball references.
I didn't get the exact quote, but I understood.
What scene I'm talking about.
I do.
Derek, go watch Moneyball.
He might have seen it, actually.
Derek, have you seen Moneyball?
Why would I have seen Moneyball?
Okay.
Because it is not just a baseball movie. It is not just a good baseball movie. It is probably one of the best sports movies, period. And
but it's not real.
Yeah. No,
the ending's not real.
The ending's not real.
The ending is real.
No, it's not. They didn't go to the World Series.
They don't go to the World Series in the movie. They lose to the Twins, and you watch the Twins celebrate.
Oh,
the ending credit on a black screen is Billy Beane is still trying to win the last game of the year.
Oh,
because that's what he always says: is it doesn't matter if you don't win the last one.
Yeah,
and he did turn down. He did turn down an offer to become the highest paid general manager in the history of sports. So, but anyway, they do not go to the World Series in the movie. Let me put it this way. There are some inaccuracy with the movies. If you want me to get on the Moneyball soapbox for 2 seconds, the Moneyball movie talks about how it's this ragtag group and Billy Beane has to fight against his GM he is GM. He has to fight against the head scout. He has to fight against, his manager. Everyone in the Oakland A's organization was on board, or if not everyone, at least, there wasn't really a fight from what people have said. And the movie does admit two big things. The movie does admit that they had Miguel Tejada on their team, who won MVP that year. And the movie does admit that they had Barry Zito on their team, who did win a Cy Young in Oakland. So
Yeah.
I will give you some inaccuracies there. That Moneyball, the movie, does omit those couple facts. But the rest of the movie's fantastic, and everyone should watch it.
Yeah, I agree.
So, we're going to do a little
Coach
baseball.
wasn't very fond of it.
No. Rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah,
We're going to do these little bits more often, aren't we, right, kid?
I sure hope so, because this is what I actually know about.
Yeah, so Caden can actually talk baseball. So it's the perfect blend of Caden will sit there and look pretty while we talk NASCAR, and then Derek will sit there while we talk baseball, and it will be. Derek, did you take a screenshot of yourself so you're making it look like you're not actually, so you can like leave the frame? Derek has left the building. Everyone,
the expression of it too is just so perfect.
No, this is a clip right here. So, what are we calling these? Cadens baseball breakdowns. Something. We'll workshop the name.
Barksdale baseball.
Ignore me sliding back into frame.
Leave the name. Have people leave. We can leave the name suggestions.
Comment
in
a
the
suggestion
comments.
for what we should call these segments. But yeah, hopefully we have more.
Yep.
Fun background to use during these, other than my own face.
I think we have a couple fun ideas of stuff we're going to roll out through this year, and I'm really excited to get the pod rolling again. I think we got some good shows coming up here. Obviously, once the NASCAR season restarts, that's going to give us a lot to talk about. But we're less than 8 weeks away from Evergreen Speedway's opening day, and so lots to talk about racing here in the Northwest as well. And lots starting.
Ready for it, Ben?
Am I ready for it? I'm
You're the
so
one of the both this year.
yes, I'm so ready to return. I am so excited to see the Cars Tour West Northwest Tour, and what that can do for pro late model racing. I'm excited to see maybe how some of these scheduling tweaks can maybe help some of our figure eight crown jewels. I'm crossing my fingers that some better placement might mean some better access. I understand one of the two biggest races of the year is the last race of the year, and so many cars are torn up by that point that it's tough. I get that, so moving it up a little bit. Also, the weather should be nicer. It won't be cold and freezing and raining every time we try to run multiple hour-long races or 90 total minutes. I don't know what they're doing yet. So I'm not always in the know. I'm going to put this out here, and we're not going to spew about Evergreen a ton tonight, because this is going to probably be in its this stuff we're talking about can probably be a show in its own right. I am so bloody excited for BECU mini stock racing this year.
You're bloody excited.
I'm through the roof that the Irish boy in me is coming out. If you are a fan of short track racing, then
I am.
Anytime the mini stocks are on a schedule at Evergreen Speedway, it is worth the trip. The amount of registrations I have, we're recording this in the first week of February. Like I said, we're still 2 months essentially from the season. Excluding, I don't think I have registrations from like the top 5 or 6 cars in points last year. So I know they're all going to be back, right? Are we 220 yet? I think we're at like 19.
I can check.
Derek can pull it up real fast because he still has. We're going to have, if everyone who registers comes, which is most likely not going to be the case, we could be talking mini stock B main for regular Saturdays. Whoa. Yeah. I mean, like we get used to that with Hornets. We had that a couple times with Legends. But we're talking mini stock B mains. If we can get any of those people who might potentially tune into this show from over the mountains in the Wenatchee area, the Tri-Cities area, out there in Spokane, if anyone's down in the Oregons, come on out, bring that car. I bet you can run behind a Honda too.
So my count is 21.
Excluding the top 6 in points.
Some notable missing names. I mean, Cole Reardon, Zach Bristol, Lyndon Smith, all missing from that list of 21 drivers that I have.
So so Lindbergh not registered yet. Rookie of the year.
I don't believe so.
I don't think Paisley's registered yet. So that JBR crew not registered yet.
There's a lot to be seen this season, and while I'll be more less commonly at Evergreen Speedway, expect me to still be in the audience when I can and catch the best races.
We can't get rid of them that easy.
No, I could try my hardest, and I would still end up back the place I called home for years.
So, lots on the horizon to be excited about.
Yes.
Well, I'd say that was a productive segment. I hope you had as much fun as they did in this part.
Let us know. Yeah.
Yeah, please. There's many different ways to contact us. Obviously, as I will say in the outro, we've got our social medias. We'll start linking those in the bio, the description. That's the word I was looking for, including Ben and I's at the very least. I know Caden is less eager to have you all chasing him down on social media, but find Ben on Twitter. I weigh in on sports from time to time. You can hear me talk about the Hoosiers if you scroll through.
If you have a baseball question, you can. I'll link my account.
Ben, you got anything to say?
No, I think the handles on X is ACP_Northwest.
They're right here.
On it. Yeah, they are down below us on the Instagram. Announcers Curse Podcast. I'm at Ben_Iman. Derek is. Are you on DT on
Derek
TV?
Todoroff.
Oh, you're at Derek Todoroff. Okay. And then like, subscribe, share. Give us a follow, leave us a rating here on Spotify. I'm gonna start posting these on YouTube.
Yes.
Too. I think it's gonna be started because now we have a video component.
We do,
and so
and if
you get to see all of our faces,
or anybody happens to want to sponsor a podcast, please reach out. We're looking for sponsors.
Oh gosh, now we sound like
driver.
racers.
And if you're a driver who wants to come on the show, chat a bit about what you're up to this season, talk to us. We will do our best to not bring you on at 2 a.m., but
we'll
there's
find
only
a good time.
so much we can do.
We'll make it work for you.
Yeah, we've got.
I know at least one driver who's agreed to be tortured by us once again.
If anyone wants to be interviewed, have them reach out to me because I have a running list currently. There's already a few names on it, so we have a bit of a short list building. So
from the Announcers Curse Podcast, I've been Derek Todoroff.
I am Ben Iman.
And Caden Barks, so.
There's lots of different catchphrases, but I'm all out of them.